But now we're seeing separation because there's another song, Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better. That's Carolina and New Jersey, and they're pulling away from the Rangers, and the Rangers are really good. Like, the Rangers are really, really good, but they're not catching those teams, Craig. They're not, but they're safe from what's below them, so they might know exactly what's going on. We're on the road, blank, and maybe the blank is going to be Carolina. We don't know. Right now, statistically, it still is New Jersey, who just added Timo Meier, who was probably the biggest fish that you loved in the trade deadline jar, and they're even better. And the way Dawson Mercer, has been playing, he didn't score for the first time in like 8 games. And if that third line is with Haula, and they've played well and they scored yesterday, the Devils are deep. Palat on the third line when start on the first line. Yeah, my friend. It's sexy. The sadness is some big boys are going to be out in the first round. It's been fun to watch.
The New Jersey Devils. Yeah, I know they're young. I know they haven't been in the playoffs for a long time. But this is a good team. This is a really good team. And the Carolina Hurricanes, and I was reticent, we do winners and losers. And I said, it's hard to say a Stanley Cup contender. And I had the Carolina Hurricanes as in my top 5 was a loser at that. So you use the word loser. They weren't I thought that maybe they might have done a little bit more to strengthen their team in the absence of Max Pacioretty. But, Don Waddell and Rod Brindamore might look at it and go, no, we're fine. You know who's really, really playing well for the Carolina Hurricanes?
Marty Necas.
Wow, he's been playing great all year. Kotkaniemi. Kotkaniemi's taking it up a level. Kotkaniemi now, he had 4 points on Sunday. Kotkaniemi. And that's not just he's been playing really well for a month here. It looks like he's just settled in. When I first saw him play at 16 and then at 17, he looks like that player now. Steve, you've heard me say this ad nauseum. NHL teams fail players more than players fail on their own. The Montreal Canadiens did not set up Kotkaniemi for success. He should have never been in the NHL at 18. He should have never been in the NHL at 19. He was never able to develop that offensive side of his game and that all-around game. He was literally in the middle of the lake, with the water rising, storm all around him, trying to just keep his head above water. That's a failure by the Montreal Canadiens. And the beneficiaries, what I'm watching with Kotkaniemi now, the Carolina Hurricanes are the beneficiaries. Good for them to be patient. Remember when Pittsburgh traded Marcus Naslund? He only became a top player for the Vancouver Canucks. I'm not going to suggest that Kotkaniemi could have the offensive punch that Naslund had, but the Carolina Hurricanes are going to benefit from Montreal Canadiens' ineptitude in handling Kotkaniemi. They're going to benefit from that ineptitude.
And maybe the real truth of this Pat Quinn green tomato turning red is it's happened this year, and one of the best trades that you make is the one that you don't make, and that they really believe with Aho, Kotkaniemi, and Stahl, they didn't need to improve at second line center. Yeah. They didn't need to add a winger. God bless Shane Gostisbehere in his early return since his move. So maybe sometimes the idea that some teams do make too many moves and tinker too much with the lineup and chemistry. And the Canes are, for the most part, Craig, they're like spokes on the wheel, right? If Aho and Burns and maybe Freddie are the 3 biggest spokes, the rest all work better together as opposed to being superstar, star, superstar, star. And that's the kind of way I think Rod Brindamore wants it, that any of the 9 forwards can go out and do a similar job as opposed to only relying on a big guy to score and everything else. And they're dogs on the bone. They're relentless. This team is relentless, and maybe bringing in a star type player. Maybe that was never in the cards with what you said about Kotkaniemi. And they thought about this in Montreal when they drafted him. Now we're seeing what you said is the development. So maybe the best solution is internal. And I think that's what you're saying with Jesperi Kotkaniemi.
Yeah, and one of the things Pugliarvi hasn't played yet just because of the visa issues. So, but you think about even Yessi moving into an organization. I mean, there's finished players there. I mean, you got Aho there, you got Teravainen. I think Yessi is a third at best line winger and a deeper down the lineup forward. But just think about somebody that's, got a little bit more comfort with some countrymen around him and people he knows. I mean, he won a World Junior gold medal with Sebastian Aho.